Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. Thank you for accommodating all of our movement. There will be more movement toward the end of the day. Takes a lot of work to transform these rooms to accommodate everyone. So thanks for your patience. Thanks for your grace. We're going to get started with some rapid share presentations. I'm going to start with Romajean Thomas, the Executive Director of Feed 7 Generations, who's going to talk about native grown and gathered. And then each presenter will come up and introduce themselves and walk you through the presentation from there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Choltz Lahey. Good day, everybody. My name is Romajean Thomas, and I'm a Muckleshoot tribal member. I am also, like Mariah shared, the Executive Director of Feed 7 Generations. So we are a food sovereignty nonprofit in the King County area. We really see ourselves, though, working the breadth and depth of the Salish Sea area. So Washington, Oregon, Idaho, those types of areas. But today, I want to introduce you a little bit to Feed 7 Generations, but I'm really here about an awesome feed initiative, Native Grown and Gathered. So that's behind me, and we'll share a little bit about that. But for Feed 7 Generations, if you want to check us out, see how you can support us, and see about more of our initiatives, please visit us at feed7generations.org. Thank you guys. I am a little bit nervous today. We were laughing earlier about, like, is this your jam, getting up and presenting? And I'm like, yes and no. It is exciting and energetic, and we love to share what we do at Feed, but it's also super nerve-wracking, and just preparing myself and making sure that I say everything that I need to say and just checking with my notes. So yes, and it's still a little nerve-wracking, but I feel really honored to be here. I feel really honored that Feed 7 Generations is getting asked to be in this room. Doing food sovereignty work as Indigenous people are deep-rooted in who we are. So coming together in the Pacific Northwest to have food conversations is so rooted in who we are as individuals, so it's really an honor. I see some of our collaborators and our friends and friends that we will make soon in this room, and so it's really an honor because when we're thinking about food procurement, to have so many activists and farmers and individuals engaged in food sourcing in this room, having this conversation in all of the value-based procurement is really beautiful, and it's super value aligned with what Feed 7 Generations does. So we see ourselves as strengthening food sovereignty in Indian country. Native Grown and Gathered is dedicated to empowering Native American food producers and businesses, fostering cultural connections, and promoting the strength of our food system. This project came out of the need to identify Native producers, for us at Feed 7 Generations to be able to source from Native producers, to keep our money in Indian country. In Indian country, we have a tribal food economy. We always have, since time immemorial. We've always stewarded these lands, and we've always harvested from these lands, and we've always shared the plentiful nature of that. But one thing that some of our partners said is, where are these Native producers? Who do you source from? How do you find these folks? And it was like, in our communities, right? In Muckleshoot, I know where to get my salmon from. In Sklallam, where my mom's from, I know where to get my cockles from. I know where to get my oysters from. But when you're an urban Indian person, when you're an urban Indigenous person, when you want to keep your money in Indian country, it might not be super obvious where to do that. And so all of us folks in the room at Feed 7 Generations and Tahoma Peak Solutions, our partner organization, started just dropping in a hat. Who are those orgs? Where do we source from? And King Conservation District said, hey, can we help fund you to map that out? And the language at the time, I don't know if it was map that out, but really to put all of that information together. We said, absolutely. We bit off more than we could chew. We thought we could do a full website out of that one grant. But really, we went out to the communities, we met the producers, we got to do these really full-length interviews, go out to places like Rose Island Farm, do a tour and hear what their values are, what their needs are. But that was really the length of where we got in that first grant. And so this beautiful Native Grown and Gathered website is a product of all of that work. It it holds all of those producers that we mapped out here in the Pacific Northwest region. But with our beautiful partner, Tahoma Peak Solutions, who has all this technical assistance support and knowledge, it has continued to grow. So it's now not just the Pacific Northwest. We've moved into Oregon, Idaho, Montana, the Rocky Mountains regions. And so it will eventually be the breadth and the depth of Indian country, that if you want to source somewhere in the United States a tribally sourced food or product, we hope this is where you're going to go, nativegrownandgathered.com. If you know a native producer, someone like Miss Mariah and their local food tool has really influenced our ability to develop this out quickly, but you can create a profile on here. So if you're looking to source in Indian country, please come to Native Grown and Gathered. If you want to add, if there's a producer out there that identifies as Indigenous and you want their product and their profile on here, there is a space for that. Mariah's been very kind and said that I could kind of move around. So you can discover native producers. Oh, is it this thing? Okay. Sorry, mine is a touchscreen. I apologize. I was just touching away. I apologize. I just put my fingerprints all over her laptop. Okay, so there's a learn more about us, mission, connect native food entrepreneurs, communities, and organizations to enhance food sovereignty through collaborative partnerships and knowledge. But there is a place here at the bottom. Here's a beautiful directory where you can get listed. So if you have a producer, please get them listed. It took 15, 18 months of going out and doing these interviews, but now we have this beautiful website and these things can happen almost instantaneously. So if there's a community, if there's a local farm who maybe we didn't get out to because they're working, they're out there on their farm, right? They're managing and stewarding that land, then here's a way that they can get listed. They can also connect with us if they want outreach. That's what we want to do. We want to lift up our tribal producers. We want to help with technical assistance. If there's a grant, if there's a specific need like a vehicle, we really want to connect and uplift that using our technical assistance that feed into Tahoma Peak Solutions. And now the Native Grown and Gathered website. And I just wanted to share with you, because we're at the end, today I brought a couple of things sourced from the producers, but I have this really great Pacific Northwest savory herb salt done by Rose Island Farm, and it has nettles and mushrooms and garlic and thyme and sage and all these wonderful things, really local, so hyper local. A lot of times there is stewardship principles built into who we are. I find it in almost every business that we have went out and interviewed. So if you're looking to put your money into Indian country, if you're looking for sustainable products, if you're looking for really hard-working, value-based folks, please check out Native Grown and Gathered. If you're looking for a way to support us, please check out feed7generations.org. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate you.
I'll be in charge of the clicker. You should probably not.
She's acting like she's not the boss.
Check us out. Okay. Just stand in front of you. Hi, you guys. My name is Haylee Mensonides, and this is Ryan Mensonides. And we are the owners of Mount Rainier Creamery and Market. We have just been able to open our market here in the October of 2024. So we are brand new, but we are not new to what we've been doing. So we produce glass-bottled, organic A2A2 milk products. And so we're going to kind of tell you just a little bit of the history. We were here 2 years ago. If some of you were here for that conference, and we were able to kind of share our journey of where we were. And we've come a long way since then, and we're proud to say that we're open now. And so we wanted to just be here, and we're so thankful to Mariah for allowing us to just give an update on where we're at and what we've been doing. So we will start. I guess I can do the family part. So this is just our family. We just figured we'd show you guys that. We've been married for 18 years, and this is our family. That's Luke, Noah, Jacob, and Titus, and they are active participants in what we do here. We've been farming for 13 years now, and so to be able to do that under Mount Rainier, this is one of the farms that we help out in Graham, that we were able to help
Washington Farmland Trust.
yeah, with the Washington Farmland Trust protect this land, and to be able to keep farming it. And so that's a picture of us there, and that's just to kind of let you know that is our family together doing this project. And then this is our farm in Enumclaw, Washington, and this is the farmer, so we'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually grew up, my dad was an immigrant from Holland, and my grandfather was actually, had his own big dairy back then with 10 cows, and had his own general store. And then after the war, they left everything there and came here. And so it was full circle on the 19th of October when we could open up. My dad farmed for his uncle, and I grew up on a dairy. So I grew up on dairy, grew up around cows, left the industry for a while, well, worked for a couple companies. Haylee has no experience at all, and she's done great. So
I have an experience being a consumer, so I feel like we have a good partnership in that direction.
yeah, so she does all the hard work in the books, and then she actually runs our store. So we milk jerseys for the most part. We do have a couple other blends there. When we got started, kind of got cows wherever I could with whoever would carry a note. I think it's important, we got a farm service agency note or loan, and that's what allowed us to get started. Unfortunately, you kind of heard it. We did our math the other day we ship to a cooperative, and it's one of the better cooperatives in the country, but I think our profit margin for the last 4.5 years was negative 2%. And so I felt, I don't know where the guy was that was speaking, but I was like, oh man, I didn't realize we were much different from restaurants. And so it's not sustainable. And so we have these beautiful cows, we have this beautiful farm that we were able to finally buy in 2017. And because of the marketplace, the last 5 years, we've basically restructured our debt 3 times. So we essentially worked the first 13 years for nothing. Now, we get to look at that, we get to look at them, we get to raise our boys. We have a house and a roof, but we're like, this is not sustainable. So we doubled down, got several grants, and we're able to get into processing. So we milk around 300 cows. We started with about 100. We did the natural model where you just get bigger and bigger and hope it works. It didn't work. So right now we're selling every drop of milk from about 10 cows through our store, and those 10 cows make the same amount of money as 150 the other direction. So our hope and goal is that we develop enough of a following and that we open another store. And that we sell more direct to our consumer, more of our milk, and hopefully, honestly, from my perspective, I'd love to downsize to a more sustainable, less stressful level of animals. We also could utilize more of our own pasture. So like Haylee said, we're certified USDA organic. We work through Oregon Tilth. We have jerseys. For the last 13 years, I've been breeding A2 genetics. It's not to get into it, but it's a beta casein. A lot of people that have issues with milk that can't drink it, they go to A2 like us. They're able to drink it. I think I'm on the next slide, I think.
Oh, are we fine? Okay, yep.
There it is. Hey, there we go. So that's just a single bottle filler. Haley's brother runs our processing plant, and we're fully a family deal. Our cows are A2. We're certified organic, and we do low temperature vat pasteurizing, and we do not homogenize. And so we have found, one of my passions is I wanted people to grow up and love milk like I did. How many of you guys grew up in the 80s? How many of you were told that skim milk and margarine was the way to go? So I grew up on whole milk and loved it, and now we're getting people to get onto whole milk, and it's about as close to raw as you're going to get, but we pasteurize it. So we are selling right now our whole milk, which is on the right, the big bottle. We sell heavy cream, which we can't keep enough of. We sell the half and half, and then we do small quarts of whole. We just brought out our chocolate milk. That's not certified organic. There's a cocoa shortage in the world. Some of you may know that. So we can't even find organic cocoa. But we use our organic milk, obviously. Our next steps are hopefully butter, and then we're going to do our own ice cream. And we did eggnog, which was awesome. But if you ever try to do eggnog, after January 1st, you will not sell any eggnog. So I said, let's do one more batch. And she said, don't do it. And I said, we'll do it. And then she was right, obviously.
I don't think they heard you on that.
She was right. So,
Further back.
yeah. So, and then the cool part is we worked with Oregon State University, their Food Innovation Center. We got a grant. None of this processing plant would be possible. We've gotten up to $750,000 of grants. I don't even want to tell you how much we've actually spent, but that is significant in the fact that we're even open. And without it, we wouldn't be. And most likely would have to close our farm. What's the next?
So, I mean, that's our product, and then I guess we just move into, so what we did is bit off more than we could chew, and so we started the plant, and we also came across this location. So our market is in Buckley, Washington, so we're up on the plateau. If you're headed through to go to Crystal Mountain, we're right on 410, and this building became available, and we've been passing by it for years, and we thought, man, what a cool place it would be to be able to sell our product as well as other people's products. And so it is a drive-through market that we were able to fix up. This is just the front. We were able to create this really cool signage. So when you see the milk bottle going down 410, that's where we are. And it's just a really cool icon that we've fallen in love with. I didn't get, I think the next one, so this is kind of the storefront in the snow. So that's our market. And you can see the coolers that are right in front. So you're basically driving right up to the produce aisle of your grocery store. And so you can see everything right there. So our milk products are there. The windows are where we have what we call the parlor, and so we're able to do coffee drinks and shakes and ice cream. We have soft serve, and so that's become a really popular spot for people to use. And we use our milk in our coffee drinks, which I think makes a really good cup of coffee. So really the passion behind that is, one, to sell our product, to get it out there, and two is to be able to support other local farmers in our area. So we know what it took to get us here, all of the blood, sweat, and tears for us to be able to open and to sell a product, and we're blessed to be able to find this space. And so we want to be able to amplify other small farmers as well. So we are able to be flexible with even the smallest of products, the smallest of producers, to put their stuff through. And our customers are awesome. They are so into being able to learn about who they're buying from. We make sure to have links to whatever farmer that we're carrying, so they can learn more about it. So that's really the heart of it. And we just opened in October, so this is all brand new, and we're just getting started. So definitely a lot more to come on that front as far as just being able to support local producers, but that's really the heart behind what we want to do.
I know.
But that's
Okay.
kind of where we're at now.
Are we over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're-
Last thing is, we met at this deal with the food hub, and a lot of our products we get are local, and we're able to get them through the food hub. And so
that connection was made here.
the connection is awesome. So we are grateful for that. And then we also get our beef processed from this guy who's going to talk next. And so we also met him here 2 years ago, and we both cried about how we couldn't open because of regulation. So anyways, that's us. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm a fourth-generation butcher. I never had a choice. Quick butcher joke for you. Did you guys hear about the butcher who backed up into his grinder? Yeah. He got a little behind in his work. I'm also a dad, too. That fits both genres. So this is our facility. This is what I did. I created that little stamp right there. Little stamp cost me gray hair, wrinkles, hours of my life. But now, with that stamp, I can serve so many other people. It started, that white box you see there, that's my USDA processor. Looks like nothing that's been built in the industry because I built it. I'm a butcher and I'm also not a weld. So I built that thing. So the current slaughter unit costs about $1.5 million. I built that for a fraction of that. And so it took a lot of things. I had to put in a new floor for drainage. That's a really big thing to help keep your process clean. I've also created my own mobile processor. That trailer you see on the bottom right picture on the right, it's a mobile processor. It's just a 32-foot long trailer with a cooler in it. I can do 6 units a week out of there. And I told my wife, if things go really bad, we'll put some windows in there and we'll live in there. So didn't give her any peace of mind. So how I got here, I was selling to farmers markets. I got kicked out of grad school. I was selling meat at a farmer's market, and I quickly noticed the bottleneck, and I was insulted that me, a butcher, I would have to wait in line to get my meat processed. But I really did, and it was hard to grow. And so from there, I started building butcher shops. I built my first butcher shop. The landlord was horrible. Built my second butcher shop. It was on wheels. Built my third butcher shop. It's a deli and butcher shop. It's my wife's butcher shop if everything's running right. It's my butcher shop if something is broken. Then, of course, my last butcher shop I built, it was my childhood home, my alma mater, and I got a big grant in order to polish my butcher shop where I grew up. My mobile slaughter unit has allowed what was a custom butcher shop my whole life. My mobile slaughter unit has turned it into a USDA slaughter and processing facility. And I'll go into why that's so important towards the end of my presentation here. So who do we work for? Excuse me. I got more to tell you about what I built. So there's my look out. There's my mobile processing unit. It's just a clean room. It's not overthought at all. Believe me, I don't. But it works. It works wonderfully. It was built by me, so everything is within my arm's reach. Also, that goes along with the animals, and something I'm not used to because typically I'd go out and do on-farm slaughter, which is you and a rifle. But now I got all this corral and this penning that I have to deal with, and so I spent a lot of money. And then I got a lot of grants. Bottom right-hand corner, you see my kids goofing off in the hog scalder. That's where I scald pigs. This is my unit in use. I look really intense in that picture right there. I wish I had a different one, but that's me about to stamp my first beef. And but you can see I'm able to do a beautiful job in there. And it's small. I'm so small, I'm hardly a blip. Like the USDA, they kind of just leave me alone now. They're like, oh, he's going to do it his own way anyway. So, but I've slaughtered beef, lamb, pork, buffalo, everything out of there, and it works. It works beautifully, and I'm able. I've worked. Well, of course, I've done USDA, which is a big part of what I grew up with. But now I'm able to do USDA, and with USDA, I can provide local meats that all my little farmers grow. I can put them into a local butcher shop. I've worked for farmers. One of my farmers actually just last week got approval to have his products at the Ballard Market. He was selling veal. He's a creamery that also sells veal, and it produces more products for him, and that he can hopefully make it. And so that really made me proud. I worked for schools, government contracts with schools. I didn't see that one coming. And that was wonderful. All these farmers are making, selling thousands of pounds of ground beef or stew meat that I'm able to process with my little trailer there. And they're able to fulfill those contracts, which were a little scary at first for me, but we got through all the contracts that I've been able to, that I've had up against me. And all my deadlines, I've matched all my deadlines. So how we sell, I sell market style, which helps those little farmers markets. Each product is 1 pound and easy to sell. I also do what I call restaurant style, which I can take local meats, cut them into primals, so they're easy to process for restaurant chefs and everything. And I also Of course, I have a line of hot dogs I sell at the local markets called Valley Dogs, and it's really fun to tell people, like, you're eating a corn dog and supporting local with that corn dog, and you're like, oh my God, that's even better. So, so that's really really special for me that I can, you know, like, I can make anything. I can put enough salt on anything to make it taste good. But you know, to know that I can support my farmers, support my little families that count on me, like, that is really cool to be a part of. And so when it comes right down to that, like, these are all the different, that's that up in the left corner, that's Fantello Creamery, that's who I just work for. That's our little shop there on the right. And the boxes that I'm running up with a forklift, that all feels like real business. And then this is the end product. Like, these beautiful cuts came from our neighbors, right? And you can get pretty cuts like this that are grown in the Midwest, but I favor all my little neighbors, and I want to keep us working here and us living here. And so that's really what it is. And you see all that nice color and the difference in color with the slow and fast muscle groups there, and you only get that from being on pasture. And I can look at these chops and be like, oh, that's all blonde colored. I'm sure that spent, you know, almost its entire life on a concrete pad, and that's no way to live. So what I've built is just what did I do? Oh, you read my sign there, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of a smart aleck, and now I get to name things. So, but what I've built is really kind of cool, and it's been kind of cool to grasp, because what I built is an affordable way that every WSDA butcher shop in America can plop one of these things right down, right outside their building. They already got the infrastructure of their cooling units and everything. One of these plopped outside of their butcher shop. They're now a USDA slaughter and processing facility. And we're creating a food web. And all these things are so important for, you know, what I'm doing to both. I mean, last year when I was only doing WSDA, there was nothing but crickets in my cooler this time last year. But now, because of USDA, I have a busy schedule. I need more people. I need more workers, more knives, you know. So it's helped my business. I've managed to help other businesses try to get profit from what they're growing, and that for me, that it's a bigger thing. I just didn't want to stand in line when I started this, but now I feel like I can really help people, whether it's just through just telling them not to worry about the USDA. They don't know what they're doing anyways, and then they'll try not to pass you because that's more workload for them. So you just have to, you know, persevere through it, and I feel like I can really help these small processors in the future. And so for me, I went from being a butcher to now I feel like I have a bigger goal, which I can really lead the way, take some of the beatings that I have, so that I can help people do more and help their local food community. So I hope I'm right. So.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, that's working. Awesome. I am not Nicole, who I think was on the schedule. I'm here substituting for her today, Tessa McLellan. I'm the Director of Industry Strategies at the Workforce Development Council, and in this capacity here to talk about a really exciting opportunity through the Sound Jobs Initiative, which is a grant-funded initiative through the Department of Labor that we are working with actually many partners in this room. Mariah, thank you for having us. I've seen a few others here today to work with hospitality employers to improve their businesses and worker well-being. So just here to talk a little bit about that today. You can see here, you know, the purpose of the grant and the work we're doing with employers. I think we can probably all agree that a stronger team, a happier team is better for business. And so what we're doing over the next coming months and really years as we get into this grant work is recruiting employers in the hospitality industry who want to receive free services valued at more than $10,000 to work with us, get things like workshops, training, coaching, to create an environment where both their employees and their businesses thrive. This just talks a little bit more about the support that our employers get. So employers will have the chance to use a workplace well-being compass survey that Nicole at Braided Rivers, who's one of our partners, has managed through some of our other work, and that'll help them understand what is working well and what's not, for that, where there are opportunities for improvement for their employees. There will also be tailored workshops and training opportunities and a chance to work with other employers in similar situations to build things like better benefits and career paths and really improve retention. And again, all of this is free to the employers who move forward through this project. That's all we had today. I'm happy to share more. This is, that's not my email, Nicole's email, or if you scan this, you'll get to our website. There's a chance to sign up for more information, and that'll come to me, so one of us will reach out to follow up with you. It's a 3-year grant, but we're really hoping to start recruiting employers in the next few months so we can get this work up and going and get working with folks. And the other thing I should have said, I'll go back really quickly. I missed this last part, so I just want to make sure I cover that. So the recognition as a sound jobs employer is something we're excited to work on, and that will likely include some exclusive job fairs for employers who go through the program to attract talent. So that's one benefit to employers that who participate that they'll get. So again, here's our contact information. We also have little flyers at the front table. They look like this, little quarter sheets with that QR code and the contact information. And so if you're at all interested, we would love to hear from you.